Welcome back to Sarah Watts's YouTube channel. We are looking at piano books.
Yes.
Another good pile of books. As if you've watched some of our other videos, you will notice we're like a pile of books. There's bits here for everyone, isn't there? There's tutor books, there's repertoire books, there's jazzy books, there's all sorts. We're going to start with the tutor books.
Right.
So, Hot Keys Piano, Tutor Book 1 and 2. Take us through them.
Okay, so
What have we got?
I wrote these with Rebecca Holt, who's an amazing pianist, because I wanted it to be fun, but also sort of technically correct and pedagogically, right. But there's all kinds of interesting things in here, and probably some things that you wouldn't find in other piano tutors, because it encourages all kinds of creativity as well as all the kind of the learning. There's some amazing pictures in here with actual, proper pictures to show you how you shouldn't play and how you should play, correct hand positions, etc. And also in this book, in every piece you'll get a piano accompaniment on the other side of the page, so a fun accompaniment for the teacher to play, and I know you get that sometimes in books, but these are a bit more meaty, a bit more and actually sort of a bit more feel good in a way, to coin a phrase. Time for two, lots of fun pieces, also a lot of like little 4-bar phrases that use the lyrics to show you what you should be doing. 1 2 1 2, hold it on, 2 beat notes are 2 beat long. It's things like that.
So it's learning with lyrics as
you
well.
Go, that's right.
It helps with rhythm things as well, doesn't it? And syllables matching notes and rhythms. It really helps.
There's lots of ear things as well. Ask your teacher to keep playing this bar. Make up your own tune just using C and D. So some nice ideas to get practical and get
starting
creative.
A bit of improvisation.
That's right. Also, the book is built on a kind of patterns, so a good way of reading. So by looking at sort of intervals and that sort of thing. So that's Rebecca who's really kind of uses that in her own teaching, and it's really worked really very well. Eat you don't scare me, watch out down below, all kinds of things, don't count sheep, round the bend, but all sorts of ideas. And there's little bubbles which will tell you about new notes, new dynamics, new things to learn, but in a fun way. Lots of kind of characterful pieces, gloomy tune, mind the gap to talk about, rests, that sort of thing. All kinds of ideas, but very colourful, lots of activities to do, just something a bit more than your normal
so this is a beginner tutor. It takes you right from the very beginning of playing.
It does.
Up to using two hands at the end of the book.
Yes,
isn't it?
The first book 1 takes you to a chromatic what do you call Contrary motion, that's the one.
Contrary motion, so
contrary motion scale of C major.
Okay,
and then book 2 takes you on. If you wanted them both together, there is another way of doing it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But then that carries on, and actually by the end of book 2, the students are really good readers, without knowing that they're kind of they're sort of doing that. But there's some great ideas, and some imaginative and creative ones as well, so lots of fun.
So this is really, it's a combination of, because we've looked at your recorder books and some of your instrumental books before as well, and a lot of what you do is classroom orientated. This is more of a personal learning
it is
thing, but it's still got elements of your method of building up what you're playing, very combined with Rebecca's.
Exactly.
So there's
all the music is mine, and the kind of the order is hers, and the technique and everything. And she talks about the fun ideas of how to swivel your thumb under for doing scales and things, like as a mouse is you put your finger on the nose and swivel, which is quite fun. She uses it all the time in her practice, and I know lots of other people that do too, because there's different approaches.
And it looks to me that by the time you're into book 2, certainly by the end of it, you're at a grade 1 level.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
You'll go on to grade 1 and you'll be ready for it, and you'll be reading the notes. You won't be learning by rote. You'll actually be reading and recognising intervals and recognising the reading.
And like you say, there's bits of like oral training and things in there. So actually, as a precursor to grade,
yes,
these 2 books are perfect, aren't they?
And there's scales. By the time you get to the end of the book, you've done F major with a B flat and G major in that order, because it's not always done like that.
Which, I mean, it's a long time since I did my grade 1 piano, but I think you only do like 3 scales
for grade 1. It's just F major, G major, but we did it deliberately in the other way, and there's some modes in there too. So but you almost don't know that you're doing them, so it hasn't got the stigma of, oh gosh, scales.
You also those. With these you get download tracks, which you don't always get with piano tutors. So I think that's certainly when I was learning, you were on your own.
That's right.
But again, as with your other books, certainly at the early stages, I think it's really nice because you might just be playing one note or 1 or 2 notes.
That's right.
But you've got this whole big accompaniment backing you up, giving you confidence.
That replicates the teacher's part in there. So you don't need to do that. The teacher can play it, but it's an
But if you're at
option
home and you're practicing, then you're probably only having your lesson once a week. So for there are
two speeds too. So there's a slow one for practicing with, and then a slightly faster one. So it's a wealth.
Lovely. So that's books 1 and 2, and then we have this one.
Yes.
Tell us about this one.
Right, this one is book 1 and 2 combined, but slightly presented differently, because so many people were asking for a kind of a later starters tutor, either for an adult or for a teenager, because there's nothing out there for that, and the material is perfectly suitable for that. It's just presented in a less childish way, and so it's ideal really. So for an adult tutor,
that's
one really is useful.
Just so same stuff, but
exactly, but slightly presented. Some of the kind of sort of younger things has been taken out and something new put in.
And you still get all the tracks and things with that, and everything that goes with it.
And all the technique stuff is all in, and it's just done slightly differently.
So that's Hotkeys piano. So that's very much tutor orientated.
Yes.
Then the rest of these books, they're not tutor books.
No.
Tell us what. So we have Piano Pizzazz.
Yes. Well, I write a lot of piano pieces, but they're different sort of kind of series. These Piano Pizzazz here, book 1, 2, and 3, is really to sort of encourage playing in a jazz style, and it starts off really quite sort of easy, but fun, like full-on frothy, intro and outro, cool riffs to play. You know how kids love to play
just play the riff.
Fun
they
little riff
don't need a lot more than that.
Or something, that's right. Ideas to start, follow that. Learn the left-hand pattern and then use these notes to maybe make something on top.
So you're doing a little bluesy left-hand pattern and
that's
pentatonic
right.
scale on top.
Yeah, need to know things, things to encourage your ear and playing by ear, and or call and response, that sort of thing. Rhythm sessions again. Different feels for what kind of jazz style, jazz quavers in some of these, which come quite early in some of the syllabuses actually. Wandering, pondering. All kinds of fun ideas that you wouldn't. These are all the icons.
So this is a good book to add in alongside a tutor book, maybe.
Oh, definitely.
Because you've still got a sort of a learning element within here. It's not just repertoire.
No, that's right.
There's a learning element in there, but lots of kind of jazzy stuff in there. But really good to add in alongside something.
So there's book 2 and 3 as well. So they start off fairly easy, and then book 3 probably goes to about grade 3-ish, something like that. But there's some quite sophisticated jazzy tunes in there. All the same fun kind of activities, and the kind of technique and the jazz technique and the thing about feel. It's and again you get tracks with these, so you can play along.
with them all. And I think the tracks are like little band tracks with these, aren't they?
They are.
So
there's even an icon saying "Hear this."
Yeah.
This is a 16-bar blues or something.
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot of kind of sort of bass, drums, accompaniment to the piano part, which is really nice.
It's not sort of a pure kind of jazz piece with just right hand and chords.
Yeah.
There are actually pieces, but they're kind of easing you into playing in a jazz style.
Yeah, there's kind of some bluesy stuff, some more jazzy stuff.
Yeah.
So that is Piano Pizzazz.
That's right.
Of which we've got books 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right. This is another series I did called Play It Cool. And these are just chilled tunes for the piano, jazzy feel tunes. This was a fairly recent one.
So these are graded pieces, so very much leading on from the tutor books and what we've had before.
Some fun things. I've had a few pieces in the syllabus in a jazz style, and sometimes people have asked, "Have you got anything else that I could play?" Some of these would be ideal.
Yeah.
So there's a few things in there that would work like that.
Yeah. So lots of. Lots to kind of get stuck into in these, isn't there?
Absolutely.
And so what's this, 2 to 3? Yeah. So it's like I say, I think a really nice kind of lead on. Possibly the Piano Pizzazz stuff is getting towards this book, isn't it? I guess.
Yes,
and
it
there's
is.
a little bit of overlap in where you are, but this would be a great one. Is you get towards the end of that book, add in this, and then follow on with that one.
So it's just varied repertoire, really. So then there's not a lot different, except that the Piano Pizzazz gives you a bit more tuition.
Yeah, but I think it's great. The Piano Pizzazz starts at a slightly lesser level than those, so you're building up to it, which I think is really nice.
This one, Razzmatazz Repertoire, is a combination of some books I did a few years ago. I did one called Cool and Easy, another one Shades of Blue. There was one called Jazz Sticks. But these are sort of a compilation of some of those books. And again, they're just jazzy, laid-back pieces. And, for anyone, really. I've had lots of adult players have enjoyed them and played them. So that they're fun.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So again, more repertoire. The thing I like about all your books is that you don't rewrite what you've already done.
No.
You go from, okay, this is for beginners and we've got tutor books, but then we're going to work our way through and there's almost a purpose for buying everything. Yeah. So whether, you do that or not, or you want to move on to someone else or something else is fine. But there's a real logical way of
everything's different.
Starting it in one place and then these repertoire books accompany where you are in your abilities. So I think that's really nice.
And finally, this is one of my favourites, although not many people know about this. Razzmatazz Teacher and Pupil Duets for piano. And there's some really I think this must have been sample copy.
These are our library copies from upstairs in our library, so they've been well used.
But some easy student parts with some very nice piano kind of tutor parts that go underneath. But there's some nice things in there and some very, are pieces that I was very pleased with. But they were written a long time ago, but I think they're worth looking at because they're a nice thing to do in lessons because it means that your pupil is actually playing with you rather than being a lone performer. And it's nice to play with other people, and it brings them to life. You like a duet,
don't you?
Oh,
in your teaching, you like a duet. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with even more stuffage for you.
More.
Is that a word? That should be a word. And so we'll see you next time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification button.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Sarah Watts' ukulele channel. Let's start that again, shall we?
Breaking news.
I knew that was going to go.
We do the outtakes.
Yeah, we'll do outtakes.